all of us would probably prefer to actually be physically present in the same space. That's one of the things that really would give us that physical sense of the connectedness that Phi Alpha represents. But I want to acknowledge the ways in which your officers and your advisors have organized this event. I mean, this is a wonderful alternative given the realities that we're all facing. So it is an opportunity for us to come together to acknowledge the amazing accomplishments that each of you as Phi Alpha members have already logged in your professional CV. I think any Phi Alpha event really needs to take into account, or at least to acknowledge, that Michigan State University is really the birthplace of Phi Alpha. It's a national honor society. Your chapter, our chapter, is really the first in the country, and it's approximately 60 years old at this point. So this is really the epitome of one of the things that was shown on a slide a few minutes ago. Phi Alpha really is the representation of Spartan values, and for us to be members of our university, members of our school, and for you to be members of Phi Alpha really kind of coalesce those values. The other thing I want to acknowledge is really the ways in which the values of Phi Alpha specify and emphasize some of the larger values of our profession. In particular, your commitment to service is really outstanding. I mean, the projects in which you've engaged, the kinds of good that you've done in the world are really impressive. Certainly the value of social justice is imbued throughout everything that we do as social workers, and that's very much represented in the work that you've done as Phi Alpha members. The other thing for me that's important because of my professional path in social work is really the emphasis on the importance of human relationships. And to be able to use technology today and in the ways that you have, I know, throughout your academic careers so far, is really kind of the groundwork for the ways in which we as a society will need to continue to connect, not only through this pandemic, but also in the future. So I'm hoping that your experience also becomes the platform that you use to continue to do good across time and distance, across different space. The other thing I want to acknowledge is that these are particularly difficult times for us as a society, as a world. I mean, a global pandemic is really unprecedented at the scale that we've all been experiencing. This also, to me, highlights the incredible value of the social work profession. What's happened in our school, the ways in which members of our school have responded not only to each other, but to the local communities, to the university community, is really remarkable and impressive. And in my opportunities to interact with other units in our university and to see, you know, what they're trying to do, but to also know where we are in terms of leading this process is really significant. So I don't want to brag about us, but I'm going to brag about us. I'm just really proud of all the work that faculty and students in our school have been able to do. The other thing that I'd like to acknowledge, and I'm going to try to be brief because I know there's a long program and there are other ways of recognizing your individual achievements. But the other thing that's important to me, again, in relation to the value of relationships, is to acknowledge your families and your mentors, the people who have helped you over your life live into the values that you have so clearly demonstrated in the work that you've done. These are people that need to be valued, that I know you care about, and particularly at a time like this, I hope that you're continuing to find ways to stay connected to each other, to care for each other, and specifically to recognize the contributions that you've been making for each other. And again, I just want to say that I acknowledge and appreciate all that you've done. Your academic excellence, your commitment to these values are really remarkable and wonderful. And I just know that you will carry them out as professionals, as social workers, and as human beings. And I just thank you for the opportunity to be here with you today.
Thank you again, Dr. Muradian. Next, we will have Dr. Woodward, who is the MSW the director of the MSW program. She is also the Associate Director for Academic Affairs and Research. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Shavana. It's a pleasure to be here. I could just say what Dr. Muradian said. A lot of what I want to say echoes his comments. It's an honor to be here to celebrate with you, celebrate your work. And I understand that some people have family and friends maybe with them. And so welcome to those folks as well. It's great that we can be here together. Celebration of our achievements is always important, particularly now, I think, in this difficult time where we can't all be together in the same space. You know, I've said in other venues recently that this time of year is always a little bit bittersweet as people are graduating and moving on. You know, we're proud of them, but we're going to miss seeing them on a regular basis. And we all kind of scatter for summer, for those of us who will still be as part of the university. It's obviously particularly bittersweet this year because we can't celebrate in person. But as John said, having this opportunity to get together on Zoom and through technology and the work that you have done to put this together is really great. Being inducted into Phi Alpha is such a recognition of your academic achievement and your service to the community and the profession. And I was having a conversation earlier in the week with Erin and Kelly about just the amazing work that you all have done. And it just really embodies the social justice mission of the school and our social work values. And, you know, there's a lot going on in our world right now, and social work is always important, but maybe even more important now than ever. There's a lot of work to do. So I just want to end and say that I am very proud of all of you. I'm proud to be associated with you. I'm proud to welcome those of you who are graduating. I'm honored to welcome you into the field as a colleague moving forward, and look forward to seeing all the great work that you guys are gonna do in the world. So congratulations, everybody.
Thank you so much, Dr. Woodward. So now we would like to direct your attention to a video from Monica Eden, the Associate Director for Teaching and Instruction and the BASW Program Director, as she could not be with us today.
Good morning. My name is Monica Eaton. I'm the Associate Director for Teaching and Instruction, and I'm also Director of the undergraduate program. I'm so glad I had the opportunity to take part in such a special event today. The concept of the National Social Work Honor Society came from a group of undergraduate social work students at MSU in 1960. Here we are today, 60 years strong, celebrating the hard work and accomplishments of this new group of inductees. And Phi Alpha was founded on the concept of the love of humanity. It's something we need more than ever today. Your efforts to fight for social justice, to uphold the dignity and worth of every individual exemplifies this. Just want to say congratulations on your high academic accomplishments and your commitment to the profession of social work.
Now at this time, we would like to take a moment to acknowledge the land that Michigan State inhabits. Michigan State occupies the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Anishinaabe Three Fires Confederacy. And this land was ceded in 1819 during the Treaty of Saginaw. So we're going to take a moment to recognize our Phi Alpha advisors. I would like to say myself that we have some of the greatest advisors that this planet ever can have, not just Michigan State, but ever. Erin and Kelly have been a blessing, and we are very thankful for them. So I would like to introduce you to Kelly Fortwalk. She is an advisor for the Mid-Michigan and Weekend program, and she is also clinical instructor in the School of Social Work. I would also like to introduce you to Erin Kavanaugh. Erin is an advisor for the Flint, Oakland, and Mid-Michigan program as well. She is also an instructor. At this time, I would like to turn things over to Erin Kavanaugh. Thank you, Erin.
Thank you, Shavana. I'm so excited to be able to talk to you about Phi Alpha. I want to start by acknowledging our board. We have one of the best board of directors that I've ever seen while being in Phi Alpha. You all are truly incredible. I want to give you all a little history about what it means to be a Phi Alpha board member. Because being a board member, you hit the ground running. It's a roller coaster. And you'll kind of hit the ground running not knowing what you're signing up for. So I'm always extra thankful when board members say, yep, I'll run. Our first meeting at Phi Alpha that we meet in the fall in September, students come in excited to be in Phi Alpha and to support its mission. And at that meeting, I ask people to step up and be a board member. And halfway through the meeting, the board members take over the meeting. They start running the agenda. They start taking notes. So it's completely a baptism by fire within a 30-minute time span. And they've not stopped running since that day in September. This board has continued to show up throughout the year. They have done more in leadership than I can possibly even highlight. All of them are absolutely incredible. I want to go through the slides now and take a moment and just highlight each of them, showing their pictures, so you can see who your board is that made this induction happen. First of all is our president, Shavana. She is incredible. And I know that if I start talking about each board member, I will absolutely end up in tears. So just know that they're incredible, even though I'm not going to go into detail about how fantastic each person is, because I need to be able to finish my speech. Next, we have Kat. On this board, we have 2 cats, but that does not let them be, that does not minimize their voice or their personality. Each cat has been so instrumental into making what has happened this year be incredible. They've shared different talents. Kat is quiet, but don't let that underestimate you. She gets things done. Next is Kat A. She is amazing. She has helped things happen for us behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. I can't underestimate her. Next, we have Bazal. Bazal's a new position. Within 30 minutes of Shavana becoming president, she started to facilitate the board working to figure out how do we do more for students. And we were able to create a Phi Alpha liaison. And Bazal has filled this position in more ways than I can possibly highlight. He has helped us to liaison with the school, with other organizations, and to show up at events that are happening around the college. Finally, not a board member, but instrumental to everything that has happened this year is Hillary. Hillary is our student. She is the face behind Oz emails of Phi Alpha every time you get a message, encouraging you to come to meetings, to sign up, to do service, to embody all the things that Phi Alpha is. Without her, this year absolutely could not have happened. Next, I want to talk about the board and how they've done more than Phi Alpha. They've shown up in other ways. They've helped through their passion to make service happen. They've made basic needs met throughout the school, whether that be housing and food, academic needs of students, or currently celebration needs. Now I want to move on to talking about you as inductees. This is the most exciting part for me, because you have all lived out social work ethics and values in ways that I can't even begin to tell you. This has been one of the most difficult years we've had as a school, with all these things that have changed, and you've not stopped showing up. You show up time and time again. Our theme this year for induction is that we're stronger together, and that Spartans get through this together. And you have done that. You've shown up consistently. So Phi Alpha is a student organization that embodies social work values, promotes community through closer bonds among students. You've done that. You've made bonds happen. When we couldn't meet anymore together on main campus, we started having more induction meeting or more membership meetings, having them twice a month. You started an Instagram where you could have a spirit week, which we are all in some way able to celebrate even today. And I can tell you, I look very fancy on top, but I'm wearing my Spartan pajamas on bottom because I'm in Spirit Day with you. And we've showed up throughout the week. Other things are Phi Alpha. We promote humanitarian goals and ideals through education, service, and advocacy and community action. You have advocated at a higher level than I have ever seen a Phi Alpha show up. You have advocated for change. You have advocated for things to happen. And I see those things happening in the school because of you. You value your own growth, but even more, you value the growth of others. And that is what social work is about, is taking care of ourselves and then taking care of others. And you do both of those things. You live out those values and ethics in everything you do. And I know I keep saying that, but I can't understate it. When we look at the impact of what you do, in the next slide, you're going to see how vast and huge this is. These are all of the places that you volunteered, you advocated, you showed up for in the last year. Look at this. This is huge. Every time I've looked at this list, I want to tear up because these are all of the places you impacted. Now, what you don't know is you impacted more places this year than we have in the previous 2 years. There were more services in 2019 and 2020 than in 2018, 2017. You showed up even more. You carried on the Phi Alpha and social work mission. You did more service this year in spite of everything else. Let me say that again. You did more. I don't know how you did it. And I can tell you that as an advisor, I often worried. You would come to meetings and tell me all of the things you wanted to do. And I was like, wait, you have to write a paper. You have to do some reading. You already are facilitating 3 service events. What? And I got nervous and worried for you. But it was completely unfounded because you continued to be able to do all of those things and show up for your community while maintaining that high academics. And it is beyond impressive. You embodied that history of Phi Alpha. Like John said, Phi Alpha started 60 years ago. We're one of the founding chapters. You've truly lived on that legacy. I want to read you a tweet that I read the other day that really, really stuck with me. And it's by Kay Quizon, who's an MSc in training. I didn't get why we were required to take humanities in undergrad. I was a science student. But now, when the world's attention is on a virus, a topic I've spent my whole adult life studying, and I think about most are the social structures, inequalities, and the sacrifice. I think about people. This is what you guys have been doing all year. You've thought about people. This is what your training is in. And this is what you're going to go out into the field and do. You're going to fight those social structures of inequalities. I know this because I've already seen you do it. And you're going to do it together because you've done that all along. I see you reaching out to each other, sending each other messages and Instagram pictures and showing up, offering to mentor students when they struggle. You show up in every single way. You embody what it means to be social work. You fight inequalities. You fight structures of injustice. You advocate. You meet people. Not only is it larger systems, you also sit with people. It's every level, micro, meso, and macro. Every year when students graduate, I'm impressed and I'm excited to hear the things that they're going to go do. And I have to tell you that this group of induction members and current members that are transferring and members who have been with us since last year, I feel this more in my soul than I ever have before, because you truly, truly show up. I can't wait to see what you do. I know that I'm going to read about you in Social Work Today. I'm going to read about you in the NASW of Michigan's updates. I'm going to have peers come and tell me how fantastic you are in the lives that you're impacting in their agencies. You will get things done. You will be a Spartan. You will be a Phi Alpha member. You will be a social worker. And now I'm going to hand it over to Kelly to recognize each and every one of you for all that you've done.
I am not sure how I can follow that. I second everything that Erin said and what Dr. Morady and Dr. Woodward said as well. It's been a pleasure being able to be one of the advisors for Phi Alpha this year. It's been fun working with those of you who I've had a chance to do that with. And I just want to say that your academic and your commitment to social work is really something to be celebrated. So it's been a pleasure, and I'm going to go through all the names. We're going to go back through the slideshow for those of you who saw it a little bit as you were coming in and joining the webinar, so you can actually see everybody's face and congratulate them all. So the new inductees are Catherine Asterio, Samantha Boatman, Andrea Fowler, Brooke Gaisley, Alexis Grantham, Catherine Hayscamp, Haley Hill, Megan Jones, Mary Jo LaRue, Tiffany Luttrell, Chloe Lodge, Deborah Manis, Morgan Martin, Kim McBride, Rosalie Monfett, Jennifer Morgan, Deborah Nelson, Jennifer O'Connor, Laurel Lee Pond, Francesca Pratt, Samuel Rhodes, Renee Rogowski, David Ross, Julie Roy, Ava Sanjana, Gail Schukbach, Jess Scott Nels, Natalie Shamo, Izelle Taylor, Brandon Taylor, Amanda Torno, Susan Vandergrind, Nikki Walker, Alexis Warner, Julia Wiles, Shamita Williams, Winnie Wamigwas, and our returning Phi Alpha members and transfers are Julia Adams, Alejandro Bonilla, Sophie Butcher, Emmanuel Chima, Frank Noah Conrad, Elizabeth Dennis. Gretchen Edwards. Jessica Gray. Shavana Green. Jess Hammond. Hillary Harris. Megan Haidluff. Delaney Johnson. Catherine Jones. Nicole Kozel. Marcy Kermis. Holly Lawson. Angela L. Matthews. Kadeja Mutakabir. Nicole Sertsos.
I would like to congratulate you all and welcome you all into the beta chapter of Phi Alpha Honor Society. You have been chosen, and now you are about to be given the charge and the purposes of Phi Alpha Honor Society. If you agree to these charges and purposes, please answer I do after each statement. If you all would like, you can answer I do at the end, and you can reply in the chat, whichever works for you. Do you agree? And let me, here is our pledge. Do you agree to recognize and encourage scholastic achievement among students who are majoring in social work? Do you agree to improve and further the goals and objectives of social work by encouraging objectivity and awareness of current developments and practices in the various fields of social work? And also further these goals by stimulating research and preparation for a career in social work. Repeat this pledge after me. Now that I, and place your name in this space, Shavana Green, have become an active member in Phi Alpha Honor Society, I will uphold its dignity and promote its goals and high ideals as a student as well as in professional life. I will actively participate in all of these endeavors. I will actively participate in meetings and chapter projects and endeavor to maintain high scholastic average. If you agree to these things, please say I do. I see lots of comments in, so I hear lots of I do. I would like to congratulate you all and welcome to the Phi Alpha Beta Chapter Phi Alpha Honor Society. I see lots of I do's coming in, welcome. So I want to take this moment to do a recognition of our graduates. Okay. May 1st is the day that you and your loved ones have looked forward to for a while. The day in which you would walk across the stage. Regardless of your pathway, whether you are full-time, part-time, advanced standing, or traditional, you've worked extremely hard to complete over 600 hours of field experience. You've made countless sacrifices while remaining active in your communities, your families, and all that you are called to. You're an amazing mother, father, sibling, friend, and colleague to many. On behalf of the Beta Chapter of Phi Alpha Honor Society, we are beyond proud of you. Thank you for all that you do. I am so thankful to know you all and have you all enter into the job sector as social workers. The world is definitely a better place because you all are in it. So the theme of today's ceremony is Spartans will get through it together. A Spartan is an individual who displays an uncommon will to make the world a better place. We are Spartans. Our DNA is unlike any genetic makeup. We have displayed the ability to persevere, to overcome, and most importantly, to show up. Not only are we Spartans, but we're social workers. Now let me define what a Spartan social worker is. There is no jurisdiction or limit to the places that we can go. We are hope, we are light, and we are salt. Not only do we preserve our ethical principle of social justice, but we are catalysts for change. We are the difference. We don't mistake our strength as an excuse not to feel Because if anything, during this time, we felt uncertainty, apprehension, and we mourned. But that's our superpower. We recognize that there's strength in the midst of weakness, vulnerability, and openness. So today, I congratulate you. I've witnessed you all operate in great strength during this time and unwavering courage, to be exact. Unwavering courage means that in the midst of trials, we continue to push. We continue to push because of the vision that we have, the vision that is beyond what the naked eye can see and the obstacles that may be before us. Having unwavering courage means stepping up even when odds may not appear to be in our favor. It means that we lean into that discomfort and we stand boldly. We continue to serve because on the other side of that storm is victory. Congratulations, Beta Chapter of Phi Alpha Honor Society. I am so happy to be a part of this prestigious organization. So we're going to take this time, this next few minutes, to look at the slides of all of the service work that you have done, because as Erin stated earlier, we've completed more projects than in years prior. So I encourage you all to celebrate yourself and choose hope today. And that concludes today's presentation. Before exiting our presentation, our webinar, please be sure to take a selfie and tag us on Instagram and Facebook because we want to hear about your Alpha experience. Thank you so much, and we appreciate you attending today's ceremony. And again, congratulations, everyone who was in attendance.